My fiance thought it'd be funny to pretend she cheated on me as a prank, but I had enough and took back the diamond ring I used to propose. I, 29M, never thought I'd be writing one of these posts, but here I am. My now ex-fiancée Sarah, 27F, and I had been together for 4 years before I proposed last December. Everything was perfect, or so I thought. First, let me give you some context about our relationship. Sarah and I met at a mutual friend's Halloween party in 2019. I was dressed as Clark Kent, basic, I know, and she was Wonder Woman. The irony of that costume choice doesn't escape me now. We hit it off immediately. She was vivacious, funny, and had this infectious energy that just drew people to her. I, on the other hand, am more reserved and analytical. I work as a software engineer. They say opposites attract, and in our case, it really seemed to work. Our early relationship was like something out of a romantic comedy. We complemented each other perfectly. She helped me come out of my shell, and I helped ground her when her ideas got a little too wild. We moved in together after a year of dating, just as COVID was hitting. While most couples struggled with the lockdown, we thrived. We built pillow forts, had indoor picnics, and started a bunch of projects together. It was during this time that her social media presence started growing. Some background: Sarah has always been into pranks and social experiments, as she calls them. Initially, it was harmless stuff like jumping out from behind doors or telling me there's a spider on my shoulder. I've never been a huge fan, but I dealt with it because I loved her, and they were mostly innocent. Looking back, I should have seen the escalation coming. The pranks started getting more elaborate as her TikTok following grew. She once convinced me our apartment was haunted by playing weird sounds through hidden speakers for a week. Another time, she pretended to have lost her job to test my reaction. Each time, I expressed my discomfort, but she always managed to convince me I was being too sensitive. It's just content, she'd say. My followers love seeing our relationship. The proposal was something I had planned for months. I knew Sarah loved grand gestures, so I orchestrated an elaborate scavenger hunt around our city, revisiting all the meaningful places in our relationship. The final spot was where we had our first date, a small Italian restaurant downtown. I had both our families waiting there to surprise her. When I got down on one knee and presented my grandmother's ring, a beautiful vintage piece that my mom had given me, Sarah burst into tears. She said it was the happiest day of her life. That's what makes this whole situation even more painful. Last week, I came home early from work because I had a migraine. These aren't unusual for me. I get them every few months when I'm stressed, and we've been dealing with a tough project deadline. As I walked through the door of our apartment, I heard male laughter coming from our bedroom. My heart stopped. Then I heard Sarah's voice, all giggly and flirtatious. I felt like I was going to throw up. I stood there frozen, my mind racing through every possibility. Should I burst in? Should I leave? Should I call her out? The voice sounded vaguely familiar, but I couldn't place it. Before I could decide what to do, I heard the guy say, "Your fiancé would kill me if he knew I was here." Sarah's response? What he doesn't know won't hurt him. I'm not proud of what happened next, but I lost it. I slammed open the bedroom door so hard it left a mark on the wall. And there was Sarah, sitting fully clothed on our bed with her phone propped up on a pillow, recording herself. No other guy in sight. She burst out laughing. "Got you," she exclaimed, wiping tears from her eyes. "The look on your face. Don't worry, it was just a TikTok audio I was playing. I saw this prank online and had to try it. Wait until my followers see this." I just stood there, staring at her. The relief that she hadn't actually cheated was quickly replaced by a different kind of pain. This was supposed to be funny? Making me think the woman I wanted to spend my life with was betraying me? In that moment, I remembered all the times my dad had cheated on my mom when I was growing up, how it had torn our family apart. Sarah knew about this. I'd opened up to her about it during one of our deep late-night conversations early in our relationship. "What's wrong?" she asked, still grinning. "It was just a joke. Come on, you have to admit it was a good one. The audio was perfect, right? I've been saving it for weeks, waiting for the right moment." The fact that she had planned this for weeks made it even worse. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment bad decision. She had deliberately set out to make me experience one of the worst feelings possible, just for likes and views. I walked out of the bedroom without saying a word. She followed me, telling me I was overreacting and that I needed to learn to take a joke. That's when I noticed her engagement ring sitting on the bathroom counter. She always takes it off to shower. Without thinking twice, I picked it up and put it in my pocket. Sarah noticed immediately. "What are you doing with my ring?" "It's not your ring anymore," I said quietly. "I bought it for someone who would never think it was funny to make me believe they were cheating on me. Clearly, that's not you." She started crying, saying she was sorry and that she didn't think it through. That she just wanted content for her social media. That she'd never do anything like this again. But all I could think about was how she had planned this. How she had waited weeks for the right moment to make me believe she was cheating on me. "Do you even realize what you've done?" I asked her. "You took one of my deepest fears, something I trusted you enough to share with you, and turned it into entertainment for strangers on the internet." "I didn't think about it that way," she protested. "I would never actually cheat on you. It was just supposed to be funny." "But you wanted me to believe you were," I replied. "You wanted me to feel that pain. How is that love?" I told her I needed space and left. I've been staying at my brother's place for the past week. My phone has been blowing up, not just with messages from Sarah, but from her family and some of our mutual friends. Her sister thinks I'm being dramatic and that all influencers do pranks like this. Her best friend suggested I'm just jealous of her social media success. But my brother and his wife are firmly on my side, saying this crosses a major line. Sarah has sent me multiple apology texts and voice messages. She says she realizes now how cruel it was and that she got caught up in social media culture where these kinds of pranks are normalized. She's promised to delete her TikTok account and never pull a prank like this again. She even sent me screenshots of her drafting an apology video where she talks about how toxic prank culture can be. But I can't shake the feeling that someone who truly loves you would never want to make you feel that kind of pain, even for a moment. Even if she never does anything like this again, I don't know if I can look at her the same way. The trust is broken, not because she cheated, but because she thought it would be entertaining to make me believe she did. My brother thinks I'm making the right call, saying this shows a fundamental lack of respect and empathy on her part. My sister-in-law pointed out that Sarah's first instinct wasn't to comfort me when she saw how hurt I was, it was to check if her phone had captured my reaction properly. But my mom thinks everyone deserves a second chance and that Sarah's remorse seems genuine. I'm starting to wonder if I acted too hastily in taking back the ring. Maybe I should have given her a chance to properly apologize and work through this. But every time I consider giving her another chance, I remember the sound of her laughing while I stood there thinking my world was falling apart. Edit 1. Wow, this blew up overnight. Thank you all for the responses and awards. To address some common questions. 1. Yes, Sarah has a substantial following on TikTok, around 50,000 followers. She's not a full-time influencer but has been increasingly focused on growing her social media presence over the past year. She often posts about our relationship, which I was mostly okay with until now. 2. No, she didn't actually post the video. She says she deleted it right after I left, though I have no way to verify this. 3. For those asking about the ring, it was a family heirloom that belonged to my grandmother. My mom had given it to me to propose with, which makes the whole situation even more meaningful. It's been in our family for 3 generations. 4. Several people have asked about my dad's infidelity. Yes, Sarah knew the full story. She had even comforted me through a panic attack once when we ran into my dad and his new family at a restaurant. Edit 2. Sarah just texted me saying she's going to post a public apology video about how pranks like these can be harmful and toxic. She says she wants to use her platform for good and help other content creators understand why these pranks aren't okay. Part of me appreciates that she's trying to make amends, but another part feels like she's still trying to turn this into content. I don't know what to think anymore. Edit 3. To the people suggesting I should sue her for emotional distress or report her TikTok account, please stop. I'm hurt, not vengeful. I just want to figure out if this relationship is salvageable. Update. After reading through all your comments and doing a lot of thinking, I decided to meet with Sarah in person yesterday at a neutral location, local coffee shop. I wanted to give her a chance to talk face to face. She looked different, smaller somehow, without her usual energy. She was crying before we even sat down. She admitted that she's gotten caught up in the validation she gets from social media and that it's warped her perspective on what's acceptable behavior. She showed me that she's deleted her TikTok account, not just the app, the actual account, and is taking a break from all social media to work on herself. The thing that really got to me? She said she watched the video back after I left and saw the exact moment when I thought my world was crumbling. She said she'll never forget the look on my face and that she feels sick knowing she caused that pain for entertainment. She also revealed that she started seeing a therapist to work through her obsession with social media validation. Here's the conversation that really stuck with me. "I keep thinking about your dad," she said. "About how you told me what it was like growing up, always wondering if he was really where he said he was. And I deliberately made you feel that way again. For what? For likes? For followers? What kind of person does that make me? The kind who can recognize their mistakes?" I suggested. She shook her head. "The kind who never deserved you in the first place." Despite her seeming genuine remorse, I told her I still need time. The ring is staying with me for now. Some trust, once broken, can't be easily repaired. I don't know what the future holds for us, but I know I need to heal from this before I can even think about moving forward, with or without her. Update 2, 1 week later, things have taken an unexpected turn. Sarah's apology video went viral, but not in the way anyone expected. While many people supported her message about the toxicity of prank culture, a subset of her followers turned against her. She's been receiving hate messages and even some threats. As much as I'm hurt by what she did, I hate seeing her go through this. I reached out to check on her, platonically, and we had a long talk. She's realized that her whole relationship with social media needs to change. She's not just taking a break anymore, she's stepping away completely. She's also been going to therapy twice a week and has joined a support group for people struggling with social media addiction. Final edit: to those asking for another update, Sarah and I have decided to enter couples counseling. I'm not saying we're getting back together, but we both agree we need professional help to either work through this or get closure. The ring remains safely stored away until I'm absolutely certain about my next step. Our first session was intense. Our therapist helped us dig into not just this incident, but the pattern of behavior that led to it. Sarah talked about how she'd been losing herself to her online persona, constantly thinking about what would make good content rather than what was right or wrong. I shared how her pranks had been slowly eroding my trust, even before this final straw. The therapist pointed out something interesting, that perhaps the viral nature of Sarah's apology video and the subsequent backlash was, in a way, the wake-up call she needed. Sometimes you have to see your actions reflected back at you through other people's eyes to truly understand their impact. We have a long way to go, and I honestly don't know if we'll make it. But we're both committed to the process, whether it leads to reconciliation or just helps us both grow as people. Thank you all for your support and advice through this difficult time. If there's one thing I've learned from this experience, it's that social media can bring out both the worst and the best in people. I've seen it destroy relationships, nearly my own, and also create communities of support, like this one. I'll update again if anything significant changes. Final update. Hi everyone. It's been 3 months since my last update, and a lot has changed. First, thank you all for your support and advice on my original post. I never expected it to get so much attention. So, here's where things stand: Sarah and I are no longer together. Despite the couple's counseling and her genuine efforts to change, we realized during therapy that our relationship had deeper issues than just the prank incident. The therapist helped us see that the cheating prank was really just a symptom of a bigger problem. We had different values and different ideas about respect in a relationship. The breaking point came during our 8th therapy session. We were discussing boundaries, and Sarah admitted something that hit me hard. She said that even though she knew about my dad's infidelity and how it affected me, she had briefly considered not deleting the prank video because it would have gotten so many views. She immediately regretted saying it out loud, but it was exactly what I needed to hear to make my final decision. Here's the thing: Sarah isn't a bad person. She's made real changes. She's been completely off social media for 3 months now. Her therapist says she's making great progress in dealing with her need for external validation. But sometimes people can grow and change and still not be right for each other. The ring is back with my mom. She agreed it's best to save it for when/if I find someone who shares my values. Sarah actually supported this decision, saying she doesn't deserve a family heirloom after what she did. As for me, I've started therapy on my own to work through my trust issues, both the ones from my childhood and the new ones from this relationship. It's helping more than I expected. The silver lining? Sarah's experience has led her to start a support group for people trying to break free from social media addiction. She's channeling her energy into helping others, which is honestly the best outcome I could have hoped for. To everyone who said I was overreacting in my original post, I get why you might have thought that. But sometimes your gut tells you something your heart doesn't want to hear. I'm glad I listened. For those wondering about the apartment, she moved out last month. It was amicable. She even left me a letter apologizing one last time and wishing me well. I'm keeping it, not out of any lingering attachment, but as a reminder that sometimes doing the right thing for yourself doesn't feel good in the moment. I'm not dating yet, but I'm open to the possibility when the right person comes along. More importantly, I know what I'm looking for now, and what I won't tolerate. Thanks again, Reddit. Sometimes it takes a bunch of strangers on the internet to help you see things clearly. Edit. Thank you for all the kind messages. To answer the most common question, yes, I'm doing much better now. Time and therapy really do help.